I'm sitting in this police station at 2 in the morning, hands shaking so bad I can barely hold the styrofoam cup of coffee they gave me. My daughter's mascara is running down her face in black rivers, and she's rocking back and forth in that metal chair like she's trying to comfort a baby that ain't there. Because he ain't there. My grandson, little Marcus, 5 years old, is gone. And the man who took him, the same man I let into our family, the same man I shook hands with across my dinner table 3 years ago, ignoring every alarm bell going off in my soul. They say a grandfather's supposed to protect his family. I failed. But before we get into how we got here, to this fluorescent lit nightmare at the 14th Precinct in Detroit, Michigan, I need you to do something for me. If this story touches you, if you've ever trusted the wrong person, if you've ever ignored your gut and paid the price, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel and drop a comment telling me where in this world you're watching from. Because what I'm about to tell you ain't just my story, it's a warning. My name is Michael Henderson. I'm 67 years old now, but when this all started, I was 64, living in a modest brick house on Marlowe Street in Detroit. I had just retired from running Henderson and Sons Construction, a company I built from nothing over 42 years. I had money in the bank, my health, and most importantly, I had my daughter. I thought I had everything figured out. I was wrong. Let me take you back to before the storm. Back when my biggest worry was whether I'd put enough seasoning in my Sunday ribs. It's March 2021, early spring in Detroit, and I'm standing in my garage with sawdust on my hands, building a bookshelf for my daughter Jasmine's apartment. She's 24 years old, fresh out of Wayne State University with a degree in social work, and she's got her first real job at a community center in Brightmoor. The girl makes me so proud I could bust. Daddy, you know I could just buy a bookshelf from IKEA, right? Jasmine's voice comes from behind me, and I turn to see her leaning against the doorframe, holding 2 bottles of Vernor's ginger ale. She's wearing her hair natural now, in these beautiful thick coils that catch the afternoon sun. She looks just like her mama did at that age. And let some Swedish engineer who never met you decide how your books should sit. I shake my head, taking the soda she offers. Nah, baby girl, this one's got your measurements, your style. See this top shelf? That's for your social work textbooks. This middle one, your poetry collection. And this bottom one, let me guess. She interrupts, smiling that smile that's been wrapping me around her finger since she was 3 days old. For the photo albums you keep making me print out because you don't trust the cloud. Damn right. I take a long sip of the ginger ale, sweet and sharp. When the Wi-Fi goes down, you'll thank me. We both laugh, and in that moment, in that dusty garage with the radio playing Smokey Robinson Low in the background, everything is perfect. Everything is exactly how I planned it when I held her for the first time in that hospital room 24 years ago, when her mama Diane was still alive, when the future seemed like a straight road with clear signs. You know what I love about you, Daddy? Jasmine sets down her bottle and walks over to examine the bookshelf, running her fingers along the smooth oak. You never half do anything. Mama used to say you'd spend 6 hours cooking a meal that takes 30 minutes to eat. Your mama was right about most things. I feel that familiar ache in my chest, the one that never fully goes away even though Diane's been gone 8 years now. Cancer took her quick, 6 months from diagnosis to funeral. She'd be so proud of you, Jazz. Working with those kids in Brightmoor, helping families stay together, that's real work. Yeah, well, someone taught me that if something matters, you fight for it. She looks at me with those serious eyes, Diane's eyes. You taught me that. If I could freeze time anywhere, it'd be right there, right in that moment before everything changed. But I can't freeze time. Nobody can. Daddy, I need to tell you something, Jasmine says, and something in her voice shifts, gets a little higher, a little faster. I put down my sanding block. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Actually, something's really right. She's smiling, but she's also nervous, picking at her fingernails the way she used to before piano recitals. I've been seeing someone from school. Well, not exactly from my program, but we met at a student mixer last year, and slow down, baby girl. I wipe my hands on my work pants and give her my full attention. You're seeing someone? His name is Damon. Damon Pritchett. He was finishing his business degree when we met. He's really special. Daddy, really smart. He wants to open his own consulting firm one day. Help small businesses grow. He's ambitious, driven. I study my daughter's face. She's glowing in a way I haven't seen since she was 16 and got accepted to every college she applied to. But there's also something else there. Something that makes my stomach tighten just a fraction. How long you been seeing this Damon? About 8 months. 8 months? I try to keep my voice level, but I can't help the edge that creeps in. And I'm just hearing about him now? I know. I wanted to be sure first. You know how you are, Daddy. You interrogate every friend I bring home. Remember Marcus's dad from high school? You asked him about his credit score. I asked him about his plans for college. Credit score came up naturally in conversation. She laughs, shaking her head. You're impossible. I'm thorough. There's a difference. I lean against my workbench, crossing my arms. So tell me about this Damon Pritchett. What's his family like? Where's he from? He grew up in Southfield. His dad passed away when he was young, and his mom raised him and his sister alone. He's a hard worker, Daddy. He's got 2 jobs right now while he's looking for the right opportunity to use his degree. He works at a bank during the day and does security at night. I nod slowly, processing. Everything she's saying sounds fine on paper. Hard-working, ambitious, helping his family. But something's nagging at me, something I can't quite name. When do I get to meet him? That's what I wanted to ask you. Can he come to Sunday dinner this week? I really want you two to meet. I think you'll like him once you get to know him. I think you'll like him once you get to know him. That phrase settles in my gut like a stone. Like she already knows I might not like him at first glance. Like she's already preparing for me to resist. But I look at my daughter's face, at that hope and excitement, and I think about Diane, about what she'd say if she were here. She'd tell me to give the boy a chance. She'd tell me that Jasmine's 24 years old, a grown woman with good judgment. She'd tell me to trust the daughter we raised. Sunday dinner sounds fine, I say. Tell him to come hungry. I'm making my famous smothered pork chops. Jasmine squeals and throws her arms around my neck. Thank you, Daddy. You're going to love him. I promise. But as she pulls away and heads back into the house, chattering excitedly about what she'll wear and what she'll tell Damon to expect, I stand there in that garage with sawdust in my lungs and a feeling I can't shake. Your gut talks to you in whispers before it screams. I should have listened to the whisper. That night, I can't sleep. I'm lying in my bed, staring at the ceiling fan going around and around, thinking about Jasmine and this Damon person. I keep telling myself I'm being overprotective, that every father feels this way when his daughter brings home a man, that it's natural to be suspicious, especially when you're a single father who's been both mother and father for 8 years. But it's more than that. I get up, put on my robe, and walk down the hall to Jasmine's old bedroom. I converted it into a guest room after she moved out, but I kept some of her things on the shelf. Debate team trophies, her high school graduation photo, a frame with a picture of her, me, and Diane at Cedar Point Amusement Park, all of us laughing on the beach, Jasmine probably 10 years old, missing her 2 front teeth. I pick up the frame and stare at Diane's face. I don't know if I'm being paranoid or prophetic, baby, I whisper to the photo. Tell me I'm just being an old fool. Tell me I'm supposed to let her go and trust her judgment. The photo doesn't answer, obviously, but I can almost hear Diane's voice anyway. Michael Henderson, you better not ruin that girl's happiness with your stubbornness. Give the boy a fair chance. Fair chance. Right, I can do that. Sunday comes faster than I want it to. I spend all morning in the kitchen, cooking like I'm feeding 20 people instead of 3. Smothered pork chops with onions and mushroom gravy. Macaroni and cheese with 3 kinds of cheese, baked until the top gets that perfect golden crust. Collard greens simmering with smoked turkey and vinegar. Cornbread. Sweet potato casserole with a pecan topping. My mama's recipe for candied yams. Jasmine arrives at 4 o'clock, alone. Where's the boyfriend, I ask, trying to keep the judgment out of my voice. He's coming. He's just running a little late. Had to work an extra hour at the bank. She's wearing a yellow sundress, and she keeps checking her phone every 30 seconds. He texted me. He'll be here by 4:30. 4:30 comes and goes. 5 o'clock, Jasmine's smile is getting tighter. 5:15 she calls him, goes out on the porch to talk. I can hear her voice through the screen door, trying to sound understanding but with an edge of frustration underneath. 5:30, a car pulls up. A dark blue Honda Accord, about 10 years old. Music thumping from the speakers loud enough to rattle windows. The music cuts off and a man steps out. I'm watching from the living room window. Damon Pritchett is tall, maybe 6'2", wearing designer jeans and a fitted polo shirt that shows he spends time in the gym. He's got a nice face, I'll give him that. Clean cut, fresh haircut, neat beard, gold chain around his neck. He walks up to the porch with confidence, checking his phone as he walks. Jasmine meets him at the door, and I can see her saying something to him, probably about being late. He pulls her into a hug, kisses her forehead, and says something that makes her relax a little. Then they come inside, and he sees me standing there in my kitchen doorway, dish towel over my shoulder. "Mr. Henderson." He extends his hand, big smile on his face. "It's so good to finally meet you, sir. Jasmine talks about you all the time. I apologize for being late. You know how these corporate jobs can be. They had me staying late to help with a customer situation." His handshake is firm, almost too firm, like he's trying to prove something. "Damon," I say, keeping my voice neutral. "Jasmine says you're in business?" "Yes, sir. I've got my bachelor's in business management from Wayne State. Right now I'm working at Commercial Bank of Michigan while I build up capital and connections to start my own consulting firm. But I'm also doing security work at night to stack up that paper. You know, gotta hustle in this economy. 2 jobs. That's ambitious. That's survival, sir." He puts his arm around Jasmine's waist and she leans into him. "My pops always said, son, a man's worth is in his work ethic. He passed when I was 12, but those words stuck with me. Sorry about your father. Thank you, sir, but it made me who I am. Taught me early that you can't depend on nobody but yourself." We sit down to eat and I watch. I watch everything. The way Damon talks, loud, confident, dominating the conversation. The way he helps himself to seconds before Jasmine's even finished her firsts. The way he checks his phone twice during dinner, even though we're in the middle of conversation. "So, Mr. Henderson," Damon says, loading up his plate with more mac and cheese, "Jasmine tells me you built your construction company from nothing. That's impressive, sir. Real impressive. That's the kind of legacy I want to build. Leave something behind for my children, you know." "Takes time," I say. "Took me 42 years to build Henderson and Sons." "Henderson and Sons?" He laughs. "But you only got a daughter. That's funny, sir." "It's what I named it when I started. Figured I'd have sons eventually. Diane and I thought we'd have more kids." I don't like the way he laughed at the name of my company. Don't like it at all. But Jasmine turned out to be more than enough. Worked with me every summer during high school. Knows how to read blueprints, use a table saw, manage a crew. "Oh, I know, sir. She's special." Damon reaches over and squeezes Jasmine's hand. "That's why I'm lucky to have her. She's not something to have," I say quietly. "She's someone to deserve." The temperature in the room drops about 10 degrees. Damon's smile doesn't quite reach his eyes anymore. "Of course, sir. That's what I meant." Jasmine jumps in, changing the subject. "Daddy, tell Damon about that project you did for the mayor's office. The community center renovation in Midtown." I let her redirect the conversation, but I'm still watching. Watching the way Damon's jaw is tight now. Watching how his whole demeanor has shifted since I corrected him. After dinner, Jasmine and Damon head out to the porch while I clean up the kitchen. Through the window, I can see them talking. Her arms crossed, him gesturing with his hands. He's doing most of the talking, and whatever he's saying, it's making her nod and soften. When they come back inside, Jasmine hugs me. "Daddy, we're gonna head out. Thank you for dinner. It was perfect, like always." "Drive safe." I look at Damon. "Good meeting you. You too, sir. And Mr. Henderson?" He pauses at the door. "I want you to know I care about your daughter. A lot. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to be the man she deserves." After they leave, I stand in my living room, listening to that Honda Accord drive away, bass thumping even as it turns the corner. Something's wrong. I feel it in my bones, in the same place where I felt it when Diane was sick before the doctors found anything, in the same place where I felt it the night before my mama passed. It's a knowing that sits in your chest like a stone. But what do I do with that feeling? Jasmine's grown. She's happy. He said all the right things, even if something about the way he said them felt off. I call my best friend Leon, the one person who's known me since we were both 20 and broke, trying to start our businesses in a city that didn't want us to succeed. Leon, you got a minute? For you, always. What's going on? Met Jasmine's boyfriend today. And I don't like him. You don't like him, or you don't like the idea of somebody taking your baby girl? I'm quiet for a long time. I don't know, man. Maybe both. But there's something about this dude. He's saying all the right words, but the music don't match. What Jazz think? She's glowing. Happiest I've seen her since Diane passed. Then there's your answer, Mike. Unless you got something concrete, something real to worry about, you gotta let her be happy. She's a smart girl. You raised her right. Trust that. Yeah, you're right. But after I hang up the phone, I'm still standing there in my dark living room, looking out at Marlowe Street, at the streetlights flickering on one by one as the sun sets over Detroit. Trust is a funny thing. It's the easiest thing to give and the hardest thing to get back once it's broken. I didn't know it yet, but I was about to learn that lesson in the worst way possible. 3 months pass. It's June now, and Detroit's heating up the way it does every summer. Humidity thick enough to chew. I've been keeping my distance from Jasmine and Damon, trying to do what Leon said. Trust my daughter's judgment, not be the overbearing father. But every time Jasmine calls me, and she's calling less and less now, I ask the same questions. How's work? How's everything else? She knows what everything else means. She always says the same thing. Everything's good, Daddy. Really good. Then comes the Thursday evening that changes everything. My phone rings at 7:30. I'm on my back porch, reading a Louis L'Amour Western and drinking sweet tea, enjoying the breeze that's finally breaking the heat. It's Jasmine. Hey, baby girl, what's going on? There's a pause, a long one, the kind that makes your heartbeat speed up. Daddy, I need to talk to you about something. In person. Can I come over? Of course. You okay? I'm okay. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Those 20 minutes feel like 20 hours. When Jasmine pulls up, I'm already on the porch waiting. She gets out of her car slow, and even from a distance, I can see her hands are shaking. She's wearing sweatpants and a Wayne State hoodie, even though it's 80 degrees outside. Jazz? I stand up as she walks up the steps. Baby, what's wrong? She doesn't answer right away. Just walks into my arms and holds on tight like she used to when she was little and had nightmares. We go inside, sit at the kitchen table, the same table where we've had 1,000 conversations, where I helped her with math homework, where she told me she got accepted to college, where she cried with me the night after Diane's funeral. I'm pregnant. 3 words. That's all it takes to tilt the world sideways. I can't finish the sentence. 3 weeks. I found out yesterday. Took 3 tests to be sure. She's not looking at me, just at her hands folded on the table. I told Damon this morning. What did he say? He wants to marry me. Now she looks up, and there are tears in her eyes, but she's also smiling. He said he wants to do the right thing. He wants to be a father. We're going to do this together. I should be happy for her. I should be supportive. But all I can think about is that feeling I had 3 months ago, standing in my living room after they left. That knowing. Jazz, you don't have to marry him just because you're pregnant. This is 2021, baby. There are options. You can raise this child on your own if you want. I'll help you. We'll figure it out together. Daddy, I love him. She reaches across the table and grabs my hand. I know you're not his biggest fan, but I love him, and he loves me. We were already talking about getting engaged eventually. This just speeds up the timeline. Eventually and now are 2 different things. I know that, but Daddy, I want this. I want to build a family with him. I want my child to have 2 parents in the home. You and Mama taught me that family matters, that showing up matters. Damon's ready to show up. Every instinct in my body is screaming at me to talk her out of this, to tell her that pregnancy isn't a reason to rush into marriage, that she barely knows this man, that I barely know this man, that something is off, even if I can't articulate exactly what. But I look at my daughter's face, at the hope there mixed with the fear, and I think about Diane again. about the promise I made to her in that hospital room when the morphine was heavy in her veins and her words were starting to slur. Take care of our baby girl, Michael, but let her live her own life. Let her make her own choices, even if they scare you, especially if they scare you. That's how she'll know she can fly. Daddy? Jasmine squeezes my hand. Say something, please. I take a deep breath. If this is what you want, then I support you. But I need to know that Damon's serious, that he's ready for this responsibility. Because a baby changes everything, Jazz. Everything. He is. I promise he is. Then I guess we need to start planning a wedding. Jasmine starts crying, but this time they're happy tears. She comes around the table and hugs me, and I hold my daughter tight, trying to ignore the way my stomach is churning. That night, after she leaves, I don't call Leon. Instead, I go into my bedroom, open the bottom drawer of my dresser, and pull out the small wooden box I keep there. Inside is Diane's wedding ring, her favorite necklace, and a stack of letters she wrote to Jasmine for different milestones. One for her high school graduation, one for her college graduation, one for her wedding day. I open the envelope marked for my daughter on her wedding day and read Diane's handwriting. My dearest Jasmine, if you're reading this, it means you found someone who loves you enough to commit his life to you. I wish I could be there to help you get ready, to fix your veil and tell you how beautiful you look. But since I can't, I'll tell you this. Marriage is hard, baby girl. It's the hardest, most wonderful thing you'll ever do. Choose each day to love, even when it's difficult. Choose each day to forgive, even when it hurts. And if you ever feel lost, remember that your daddy and I loved each other through everything, and that love was real. Don't settle for anything less than real. I love you forever, Mama. I fold the letter carefully and put it back in the box. Diane, I whisper into the empty room. I hope to God she found something real. The wedding happens fast, too fast. 6 weeks from the time Jasmine tells me she's pregnant to the day she walks down the aisle at Greater Emmanuel Baptist Church in a cream-colored dress that hides her small baby bump. I pay for everything. The venue, the catering, the flowers, the photographer. Damon's mother shows up, a thin woman named Patricia, who works as a nurse and seems just as overwhelmed by the speed of everything as I am. Damon's sister Keisha is there, eyeing everything with a skeptical look that mirrors my own. During the rehearsal dinner the night before, I pulled Damon aside. Can I talk to you for a minute? Man to man. Of course, Mr. Henderson. We sit at the parking lot of the restaurant. The summer air is thick, crickets singing in the grass bordering the asphalt. Tomorrow, you're marrying my daughter, I say, looking him straight in the eye. She's the most precious thing in my world. She's smart, she's kind, she's got a heart bigger than Detroit. You understand that? Yes, sir. She's also pregnant with your child, my grandchild, and that means you're taking on the most important job a man can have, being a husband and a father. Those aren't titles you just get to wear. They're responsibilities you have to earn every single day. I understand, sir, and I'm ready for it. Are you? I step closer, dropping my voice. Because I need to know right now before it's too late. Are you ready to put Jasmine first? Before your boys, before your hobbies, before your own needs? Are you ready to work hard, not just at a job, but at your marriage? Are you ready to be patient when the baby's crying at 3 a.m.? Are you ready to love my daughter even when she's tired and frustrated and not at her best? Something flickers across Damon's face, just for a second. Something cold, but then it's gone, replaced by that confident smile. Mr. Henderson, I know you have your doubts about me. I can feel it, and I understand you're protecting your daughter, but I want you to know that I love Jasmine more than I've ever loved anyone. She's my whole world, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life making her happy. Words are easy, Damon. Actions are what matter. Then watch my actions, sir. I'll prove it to you. We shake hands, and I want to believe him. I want to believe that the cold flicker I saw was just my imagination, just my own paranoia projected onto a young man who's probably as scared as I am about what's coming. The next day, I walk Jasmine down the aisle. She's glowing, holding a bouquet of white roses, and when she sees Damon waiting for her at the altar, her whole face lights up. And in that moment, watching her look at him with that much love, I think maybe I've been wrong. Maybe I've been so focused on protecting her that I haven't let myself see that she's chosen her own path. Who gives this woman to be married? The pastor asks. I do, I say, and I kiss Jasmine's cheek and place her hand in Damon's. As I sit down the front pew, I catch Patricia's eye, Damon's mother. She gives me a small, sad smile, and in that smile I see something that makes my blood run cold. She's worried too. Baby Marcus James Pritchett comes into the world on February 14, 2022, Valentine's Day. 7 pounds, 3 ounces, with his mama's eyes and his daddy's nose and a cry loud enough to wake the whole maternity ward at Detroit Medical Center. I'm in the waiting room when Damon comes out, and for the first time since I met him, I see something genuine in his face. Real joy. Real awe. Mr. Henderson, you have a grandson, he says, and his voice is shaking. He's perfect. 10 fingers, 10 toes, beautiful. And Jazz, she was so strong. You should have seen her, sir. Can I see them? Of course, come on. I follow him down the hallway, past the nursery where all the new babies are lined up in their plastic bassinets, past the nurse's station where everyone's smiling, and into room 314. Jasmine is sitting up in bed, exhausted but glowing, and in her arms is the smallest person I've ever seen. My grandson. Daddy, she whispers, tears running down her face. Come meet Marcus. I walk over on legs that feel like water, and she places this tiny, perfect human in my arms. He weighs nothing. He's all wrapped up in a blue blanket with little bears on it, and his eyes are closed, and his mouth is making little sucking motions in his sleep. Hey there, Marcus, I say softly, and my voice cracks. I'm your Grandpa Michael. I've been waiting to meet you. Jasmine and Damon are watching me, and for just this moment, everything is perfect. We're a family. This little boy has 2 parents who love each other and love him, and he has a grandfather who would die for him, and nothing else matters. I stay at the hospital all day, and that night, I'm the last one in the room besides Jasmine and Damon. A nurse comes in to take Marcus for some tests, and as she's wheeling him away, I see Damon pull out his phone and start scrolling through social media. Damon, Jasmine says softly, can you go check on when they'll bring him back? He doesn't even look up. They'll bring him back when they're done, babe. I just want to make sure. Jazz, relax. They know what they're doing. This is a hospital. There's an edge in his voice that makes me look up from the magazine I'm pretending to read. Jasmine's face goes tight, but she doesn't say anything else. I can go check, I offer, standing up. Thanks, Daddy. As I'm walking out, I hear Damon say something under his breath, but I can't make out the words. When I come back 10 minutes later, Jasmine's pretending to sleep, and Damon's in the chair by the window, talking on his phone in a low voice. Nah, man, I can't tonight. I'm at the hospital. Yeah, the baby came. I know. Tomorrow, maybe. Yeah, all right. Peace. He hangs up and sees me standing there. Everything okay, sir? Nurse says they'll bring Marcus back in about 30 minutes, just doing routine checks. I sit back down in my chair. Who was that on the phone? Just my boy Trevor, checking in. He know you just had a son? Yeah, that's what I told him. And he's asking you to hang out tonight? Damon's jaw tightens. He was just checking in, sir. Making plans for later this week. I nod slowly, but I don't believe him. 3 days later, Jasmine and baby Marcus come home to the apartment she and Damon have been renting on the east side. It's a small place, 2 bedrooms, but it's clean and in a decent neighborhood. I helped them move in when they first got married. I visit every day that first week. Bringing groceries, helping with laundry, holding Marcus so Jasmine can sleep. Damon's at work during the day, at least that's what I'm told. But sometimes when I call to check in, Jasmine says he's still sleeping at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. He worked the overnight shift, she explains, but there's something in her voice, a defensiveness that wasn't there before. By the time Marcus is 6 weeks old, the cracks are starting to show. I stopped by one Saturday afternoon, unannounced, bringing a lasagna I made and some diapers I picked up at Costco. I knock on the door, and it takes a while for anyone to answer. When Jasmine finally opens it, she looks exhausted. Her hair's pulled back in a messy ponytail, there's spit up on her shoulder, and her eyes have dark circles under them. Daddy, hey, I didn't know you were coming. Sorry, baby girl, should have called. I just wanted to drop this off. I hold up the lasagna and the diapers. Where's Marcus? Finally sleeping. He was up all night. She steps aside to let me in, and that's when I see the state of the apartment. Dishes piled in the sink, baby bottles on every surface, laundry overflowing from the hamper, the coffee table covered with fast food containers and empty energy drink cans. Where's Damon? I try to keep the judgment out of my voice. She pauses, and I see her deciding what to tell me. He went to run some errands. What kind of errands? Just errands, Daddy. Can we not do this right now? I'm really tired. I put the lasagna in the fridge and start cleaning. Jasmine protests at first, but then she just sits down on the couch and watches me with tears in her eyes. When's the last time you slept more than 2 hours? I ask, scrubbing a pot that looks like it's been sitting for days. I don't know. Marcus is up every 2 hours to feed, and I'm trying to keep the house clean, and I'm supposed to go back to work next month, and I don't know how I'm going to do it all. Where's Damon in all this? He needs to be helping you. He helps. Does he? She doesn't answer, and that silence tells me everything I need to know. I finish the dishes, fold the laundry, take out the trash. By the time I'm done, Jasmine's fallen asleep on the couch, and Marcus is starting to fuss in his crib. I pick up my grandson, hold him against my chest, and walk him around the small apartment, bouncing gently the way I used to with Jasmine when she was a baby. Hey there, little man, I whisper. Your grandpa's got you. Everything's gonna be okay. But as I'm saying it, the front door opens and Damon walks in. He's wearing basketball shorts and a tank top, and he's carrying a bag from Foot Locker. Mr. Henderson? He looks surprised to see me. What are you doing here? Visiting my daughter and grandson. I nod at the shopping bag. Those the errands you were running? He looks down at the bag like he forgot he was holding it. Yeah, I needed some new shoes for work. Your wife's exhausted, your son's been crying, and you went shoe shopping? Excuse me? You heard me. Jasmine wakes up, sees us facing off in the living room, and immediately stands up. Daddy, don't. Don't what? Don't point out that your husband left you here alone with a 6-week-old baby while he went to the mall. I was gone for an hour, Damon says, his voice rising. 1 hour. I've been working my ass off all week, and I took 1 hour for myself. An hour Jazz could have been sleeping. An hour you could have been taking care of your son. I do take care of my son. Do you? Because from what I can see, Jasmine's doing everything. The cooking, the cleaning, the feeding, the changing. What exactly are you doing besides wearing out the couch and your credit card? Daddy, please. Jasmine steps between us, Marcus still in my arms. Both of you, stop it. This isn't helping. Damon glares at me, and I glare right back. Finally, he snatches the Foot Locker bag and storms into the bedroom, slamming the door behind him. Jasmine takes Marcus from me, and I can see she's fighting more tears. Baby girl, you don't have to defend him, and you don't have to attack him every time you see him. I know things aren't perfect, but we're figuring it out. We're new parents. We're learning. He should be helping you more. He will. He's just adjusting. His mom died when he was young, remember? He doesn't have a model for what a father should be. He's learning. Jasmine, I love you, Daddy, but I need you to trust that I can handle my own marriage. Those words hit me like a slap, because what she's really saying is, back off. So I do. I kiss her forehead, kiss Marcus's little head, and I leave. But as I'm driving home, hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles are white, I know things are about to get worse. I just don't know how much worse. 5 months. That's how long it takes for Jasmine to stop pretending everything's fine. Marcus is 7 months old now, sitting up on his own, laughing at peekaboo, eating mashed sweet potatoes like they're going out of style. He's perfect, and I visit him as often as Jasmine will let me, which lately isn't much. It's October 2022, leaves turning red and gold in Detroit. That crisp autumn air that makes you want to wear a flannel and drink apple cider on your porch. I'm doing exactly that on a Tuesday evening when my phone rings. Daddy, can you come over? Jasmine's voice is different, flat, empty in a way that makes my blood run cold. What's wrong? Just, can you come over, please? 20 minutes later, I'm at their door. Jasmine answers immediately, like she was standing there waiting. Her face is puffy from crying, and there's a bruise forming on her upper arm, a handprint. Who did that to you? My voice comes out low and dangerous. Can we just talk inside? Marcus is in his playpen, gnawing on a teething ring, oblivious to the storm in his house. Damon's nowhere to be seen. Where is he? At work. The night security job. She sits down on the couch, pulling her sleeves down over her arms like she's trying to hide. Daddy, I don't know what to do anymore. Start at the beginning. And she does. She tells me everything. How Damon lost his job at the bank 2 months ago. Got fired for being late too many times. How he told her he'd find something else, but instead he's been sleeping in and playing video games all day. How she went back to work full-time at the community center because somebody has to pay rent. Somebody has to buy diapers and formula. Somebody has to keep the lights on. How he started criticizing everything she does. The food she cooks isn't seasoned right. The house isn't clean enough. She's gained too much baby weight. She's not paying him enough attention. She's always tired. She's always complaining. How last week he threw a plate at the wall because she asked him to help with the dishes. How yesterday he grabbed her arm hard enough to leave a bruise because she questioned why he needed $50 for gas money. And tonight, she says, her voice breaking, he called me a bitch because Marcus was crying and I couldn't get him to stop fast enough. Said I'm a terrible mother. Said he made a mistake marrying me. I feel like I'm going to be sick. Pack a bag, I say, standing up. You and Marcus are coming home with me. Daddy, no. No more excuses. No more he's learning or he's adjusting or any of that. He put his hands on you, Jasmine. He grabbed you hard enough to leave a mark. That's not adjusting. That's abuse. It's not abuse. He didn't hit me. He grabbed me. He was frustrated. Listen to yourself. Listen to what you're saying. You're defending the man who hurt you. I'm not defending him. She's crying now, really crying. I'm trying to keep my family together. I'm trying to give my son a father in the home. I'm trying to make my marriage work. At what cost? I kneel down in front of her, taking her hands in mine. Baby girl, your mama and I had hard times. We had fights. We had moments where we didn't even like each other. But you know what never happened? I never put my hands on her in anger. Never. Because that's not what love does. Love doesn't leave bruises. But what if I'm making it worse? What if I'm pushing him away? What if I'm not being a good enough wife? Stop it. Stop blaming yourself for his actions. You're working full time. You're raising a baby. You're keeping a house. You're doing everything. What's he doing besides tearing you down? She doesn't have an answer for that. Let me talk to him, I say. Let me come here when he gets home from work. Man to man. Maybe if I... No, Daddy, no. That'll just make him angrier. He already says you hate him. He already says you're trying to break us up. Maybe I am. She looks at me with those red, swollen eyes. Please don't give up on us yet. Please. Just give me some time to figure this out. Every instinct in my body is screaming at me to grab Marcus, grab Jasmine, and drag them both out of this apartment. But she's a grown woman. She's my daughter, but she's not a child anymore. I can't force her to leave. I'm giving you 1 month, I say finally. 1 month to decide what you're going to do. And if things get worse, if he touches you again, if he threatens you, if anything happens, you call me immediately, day or night. You understand? She nods. And I'm going to come by every couple days to check on you and Marcus. I don't care what Damon says about it. Okay. I hold her for a long time before I leave. This daughter who I raised to be strong, who I raised to know her worth, who somehow still believes she needs to stay with a man who's breaking her piece by piece. The calls start coming more frequently after that. Daddy, Damon and I had another fight. He said I spend too much time at your house. Daddy, can you watch Marcus tonight? Damon wants to go out with his friends and I have to work late. Daddy, do you have $50? The power bill is higher than we thought. Each call is like a knife in my gut because I know what's happening. I know she's covering for him. I know he's not contributing anything, not financially, not emotionally, not physically. He's just taking up space in that apartment and in my daughter's life. I call Leon again, late at night, pacing my kitchen floor. She won't leave him. You can't make her, Mike. I can't watch him destroy her either. So what are you going to do? I don't have an answer. November comes and with it comes Thanksgiving. I invite Jasmine, Damon, and Marcus to my house for dinner. Cook for 2 days straight. Turkey, dressing, mac and cheese, collard greens, yams, cranberry sauce, peach cobbler, sweet potato pie. Damon shows up 2 hours late, reeking of weed, barely looks at the food I spent 48 hours preparing. Not hungry. He mumbles, then goes into my living room and turns on the football game like he owns the place. I look at Jasmine, and she won't meet my eyes. After dinner, I ask Damon to help me carry some boxes down from the attic. Get him alone. Damon, can we talk? About what? About my daughter. About how you're treating her. His face hardens. Here we go. I knew you'd bring this up eventually. She's working full-time while you sit at home. She's taking care of Marcus. While you? What? What exactly are you doing, Damon? I'm looking for work. Are you? Because from what I hear, you're sleeping till 3 p.m. and playing Call of Duty. What happens in my house is none of your business, old man. Watch your mouth. And it is my business when my daughter's calling me crying, when she's got bruises on her arms, when she's borrowing money from me because you can't keep a job. She told you about that? His eyes flash with something dangerous. She had no right. She had every right. You don't get to put your hands on her and expect her to keep quiet about it. I didn't hit her. You grabbed her hard enough to leave a mark. That's assault, son. And if it happens again, I'll have you arrested. Damon steps closer to me, and for a moment I think he might actually take a swing. But then Jasmine calls from downstairs. Is everything okay up there? And the moment breaks. Stay away from my wife, Damon says quietly. Stop trying to turn her against me. We're a family, and you're not part of it. He walks past me, shoulder checking me hard, and goes back downstairs. That night, after they leave, I sit in my dark house and think about Diane, about what she would do in this situation, about whether I'm doing the right thing by respecting Jasmine's choices or the wrong thing by not doing more. I call my brother James in Atlanta, the one who's been married for 35 years, who's raised 4 kids, who's seen everything. James, I need some advice. Hit me. I tell him everything, the whole story from the first dinner to tonight. When I'm done, there's a long silence. Mike, he finally says, you can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved. All you can do is make sure she knows the door's always open when she's ready to walk through it. What if she's never ready? What if he kills her first? Then you call the police. You document everything. You get a lawyer involved. But you can't kidnap a grown woman from her own marriage, even if the marriage is poison. I know he's right. But knowing it and accepting it are two different things. December comes. Marcus is 10 months old now, pulling himself up on furniture, saying mama and dada, and sometimes, to my absolute joy, papa. Christmas is coming, and I'm putting up decorations, getting presents for Marcus, trying to stay positive. Then Jasmine calls. Daddy! She's whispering, and I can hear Marcus crying in the background. Can you come get us, right now? What happened? Just come, please. I'm packing a bag. We're leaving. I'm on my way. Stay on the phone with me. I'm in my truck, engine running, phone on speaker, breaking every speed limit between my house and theirs. Jazz, talk to me. What happened? He pushed me. I fell. I'm okay, but I hit the coffee table, and Daddy, I can't do this anymore. I can't let Marcus grow up watching this. I can't. There's a crash in the background, and Jasmine screams. Jazz? Jazz? He came back. He wasn't supposed to be back yet. Daddy, hurry. I can hear Damon yelling. Where the hell do you think you're going? You're not taking my son anywhere. Damon, let go of me. Put that bag down. I'm calling the police, I shout into the phone, fumbling for my other phone with shaking hands. Jasmine, I'm calling the police right now. But the line goes dead. The next 10 minutes are the longest of my life. I pull up to their apartment complex, doing 60 in a 35 zone, tires screeching as I slam on the brakes. Their apartment is on the 2nd floor, and I take the stairs 2 at a time, my 67-year-old knees screaming in protest. But I don't care. I don't care about anything except getting to my daughter. I can hear them before I even reach the door. You're not going anywhere. Damon's voice, loud and raw. Let go of my arm. I'm your husband. That's my son. You don't get to just leave. I don't knock. I try the doorknob, unlocked, and burst through. The scene in front of me will haunt me for the rest of my life. Jasmine's on the floor near the couch, one hand clutching her ribs, mascara running down her face in black rivers. There's a bag on the floor, clothes spilling out. Marcus is screaming in his playpen, little hands reaching up, not understanding why mommy's crying, why daddy's yelling, why the whole world feels wrong. Damon's standing over Jasmine, his face contorted with rage I've never seen before. Get away from her. My voice doesn't sound like mine. It sounds like something ancient and dangerous, something that's been building for months. Damon turns, and for a second I see surprise. Then his face hardens. This is none of your business, old man. Get out of my house. Your house? Your house? I move toward him, and Jasmine scrambles to her feet. Daddy, don't. Did you push her? I'm looking at Damon, and every cell in my body is vibrating with rage. Did you put your hands on my daughter? She was trying to leave. She was trying to take my son. Because you hit her. I didn't hit her. I pushed her and she fell. There's a difference. There's no difference. I'm shouting now, can't help it. You put your hands on her in violence. You hurt her. You scared your son. Marcus is still screaming, and Jasmine moves to pick him up, cradling him against her chest, shushing him, but her whole body's shaking. Jazz, get Marcus, I say, trying to steady my voice. Pack your things. You're leaving with me, now. She's not going anywhere. Damon moves to block the hallway to the bedroom. Move. Make me. And that's when it happens. That's when 44 years of keeping my temper in check, of being the calm one, the reasonable one, of turning the other cheek and counting to 10 and walking away. That's when all of it breaks. I move toward him and I see his fist come up, but I'm faster than he expects for an old man. I catch his wrist, and then my other hand is fisted in his shirt, and I'm pushing him backward into the wall so hard a picture frame falls and shatters. You ever touch my daughter again, I say, my face inches from his, and I will end you. You understand me? I will end you. Daddy, stop! Jasmine's voice breaks through the rage. Please stop! You're scaring Marcus. I look over and she's right. Marcus is screaming louder now and Jasmine's crying, and everything is chaos and broken glass and rage. I let go of Damon's shirt, stepping back, hands shaking. Pack your bag, I say to Jasmine, not taking my eyes off Damon. I'm not leaving without you. You can't do this, Damon says, but his voice is different now, smaller. Jazz, baby, please. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. You know I didn't mean it. I love you so much, and the thought of you leaving. Don't. Jasmine's voice is hard in a way I've never heard before. Don't you dare say you love me while I'm holding our son who just watched you push his mother. Jazz, I'm done, Damon. I'm done making excuses for you. I'm done believing you'll change. I'm done sacrificing my safety and my son's well-being because I wanted to believe in us. She moves past him into the bedroom, Marcus still in her arms, and starts throwing things into the bag with one hand. Diapers, clothes, bottles, formula. Damon looks at me, and I see something break in his face. Mr. Henderson, please, don't let her do this. We can work this out. I'll get help. I'll go to counseling. I'll do whatever she wants. You should have thought about that before you put your hands on her. I love her. Love doesn't look like this, son. Love doesn't leave bruises. Love doesn't make a woman afraid in her own home. Jasmine comes back out with the bag, Marcus on her hip, and she walks toward the door without looking at Damon. Jazz, please. He moves toward her, and I step between them. Don't make this worse than it already is. She's my wife. That's my son. And she's my daughter. And right now she's choosing to leave. You need to let her go. For a moment, I think he might actually try to stop us. His hands are clenched into fists, his jaw tight, and there's something wild in his eyes. But then Jasmine says, let us go, Damon. Please. Just let us go. And maybe it's the way she says it, so tired and broken and done, but something in him deflates. We walk out, down the stairs, to my truck. I put Marcus in the car seat I keep in the back for him, and Jasmine climbs in the passenger side, and we drive away from that apartment complex, from that life, from that marriage. Nobody speaks for the first 5 minutes. Then Jasmine starts crying, really crying, the kind of crying that sounds like it's being ripped out of her chest. I failed, she sobs. I failed at my marriage. I couldn't make it work. Mama would be so disappointed. Baby girl, no. I reach over and grab her hand. Your mama would be proud of you. You protected yourself and your son. You walked away when it got dangerous. That's not failure. That's strength. I should have listened to you. You knew. You knew from the beginning, and I didn't listen. You loved him. That's not wrong. Choosing to love someone is never wrong. But choosing to leave when that love becomes dangerous, that's wisdom. We get back to my house, and I carry Marcus inside, and Jasmine follows with the bag, and we stand there in my living room, the three of us, And for the first time in months, I see Jasmine take a full breath. You're safe now, I tell her. Both of you, you're safe. That night, I set them up in the guest room. Change Marcus's diaper, give him a bottle, rock him until he falls asleep in my arms. Jasmine takes a long shower, and when she comes out, she looks years younger without all that stress etched into her face. Daddy, what do I do now? Now you heal. You rest. You take care of yourself and Marcus. And when you're ready, we'll figure out the next steps. Divorce papers, custody arrangements, restraining order if we need it. He's going to try to contact me. Let him try. Your phone's here with you, and I'm here with you. And he's not getting anywhere near you without going through me first. She crawls into bed, exhausted beyond measure, and I sit in the rocking chair next to Marcus's portable crib, watching them both sleep. My daughter, who I raised to be strong and kind and brave. My grandson, who deserves to grow up in a house filled with love, not violence. And somewhere across town, in an apartment that's probably torn apart by now, a man who chose his pride over his family, his anger over his love, his ego over everything that mattered. I don't sleep that night. I sit in that chair, listening to Marcus breathe, watching Jasmine's chest rise and fall, and I think about how close we came to something so much worse. But we're here now. We made it out. I think we're safe. I'm wrong. Because 3 weeks later on a Tuesday afternoon while Jasmine's at work and I'm supposed to be watching Marcus at my house, my phone rings. It's a number I don't recognize. I answer it anyway. Mr. Henderson? The voice is unfamiliar. Female. Nervous. Who's this? My name is Angela. I'm Damon's cousin. I need to tell you something about Marcus. My blood turns to ice. What about Marcus? Damon's been talking, saying things about taking his son back, about how you and Jasmine have no right to keep him away. Mr. Henderson, I think he's planning something, and I thought you should know. What kind of something? I don't know exactly, but he's desperate. And when Damon gets desperate, he gets dangerous. Just watch your grandson. Watch him close. Don't let him out of your sight. She hangs up before I can ask anything else. I look at Marcus, playing on the floor with his shape sorter toy, giggling every time he gets the star through the star-shaped hole, completely oblivious to the storm that's coming. Papa, he says, holding up the star proudly. Good job, buddy, I say, but my voice sounds far away even to my own ears, because I know what's coming next. I can feel it in my bones, that same knowing I felt the first time I shook Damon's hand across my dinner table. This isn't over, not by a long shot. I don't tell Jasmine about the phone call from Angela, not right away, because what am I supposed to say? Hey, baby girl, your ex-husband's cousin thinks he might try to kidnap Marcus? She's just starting to sleep through the night again. Just starting to smile when she wakes up in the morning, just starting to look like herself. But I'm watching. Every second Marcus is with me, I'm watching. I install new locks on my doors, the heavy-duty kind with deadbolts. I make sure every window has a lock. I start parking my truck in the garage instead of the driveway so nobody can see when I'm home or not. Leon notices when he comes by for coffee that Saturday. Mike, what's with Fort Knox over here? He's looking at the new security camera I installed above the front door. Just being careful. Careful about what? I tell him about Angela's call, about the feeling in my gut that won't go away. Leon's face goes serious. You need to tell Jasmine, and you need to file a police report. Get a restraining order. Based on what? A vague phone call from a cousin? They'll laugh me out of the station. Then you document everything. Every time Damon calls, every text message, every attempt at contact. You build a case. I'm trying to protect my family, not prosecute a case. Sometimes they're the same thing, brother. That afternoon, Jasmine comes home from work with Marcus in his car seat, and she's singing to him, and he's laughing, and for just a moment, everything feels normal, like we're just a grandfather and his daughter raising her son together, like the shadow of Damon Pritchett isn't hanging over all of us. Daddy, guess what happened today? She sets Marcus down, and he immediately crawls toward his toy basket, determined and focused, like he's on a mission. What's that? My supervisor offered me a promotion, lead social worker for the youth programs. It's more money, better hours, and it means I can afford to get my own place again, for me and Marcus. I should be happy for her. I am happy for her. But all I can think about is Angela's warning, about how having her own place means I can't watch them every second. Can't make sure they're safe. That's wonderful, Jazz. Really wonderful. I hug her, and I try to mean it. When would you start? Next month, which gives me time to look for an apartment. Something small but nice, in a good neighborhood. She's glowing with pride, with the possibility of independence. I've been staying with you for almost a month now. I need to stand on my own feet again. You know you and Marcus can stay here as long as you need. I know, Daddy, and I love you for that. But I need to do this. I need to prove to myself that I can take care of my son on my own, that I don't need Damon, that I don't even need you as much as I love you. That night, after Jasmine's asleep and Marcus is in his crib, I sit on my back porch in the cold December air, watching my breath make clouds in the darkness. My phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number. You can't keep my son from me forever. My hands go cold. I call the number back. It rings 4 times, then goes to a generic voicemail. I hang up and immediately call Leon. He just texted me. What'd he say? I read him the message. That's a threat, Mike. That's enough for a restraining order. Can they enforce it? If he violates it, yeah, he'd go to jail. And if he doesn't care about going to jail, if he's desperate enough that consequences don't matter, Leon's quiet for a long time. Then you don't let Marcus out of your sight, not for a second. The next 2 weeks are tense. Damon calls Jasmine's phone 17 times. She doesn't answer any of them, but I make her save every voicemail, screenshot every text. Building evidence, like Leon said. The messages start out apologetic. Jazz, baby, I'm so sorry. I miss you. I miss our son. Please call me. We can fix this. Then they get angry. You can't just take my son away from me. I have rights. I'm his father. Then they get desperate. Please, Jazz, I'm begging you. Just let me see Marcus. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. I need to see my son. Finally, they get threatening. You're going to regret this. Both of you. You and that old man think you're better than me? Think you can just erase me from my son's life? We'll see about that. We file for a restraining order. The judge grants it. Damon Pritchett is not allowed within 500 feet of Jasmine Henderson Pritchett or Marcus James Pritchett. If he violates it, he'll be arrested. Does this mean we're safe? Jasmine asks the lawyer, a sharp woman named Teresa Banks who specializes in domestic cases. Safer, Teresa says. But restraining orders are only as good as the person's willingness to follow them. You need to stay vigilant. If you see him anywhere near you, you call 911 immediately. Don't wait. Don't give him a chance to explain or apologize. You call the police. Christmas comes. I put up a tree, hang lights, buy Marcus more presents than any 1-year-old needs. Jasmine's been looking at apartments, found a nice 2-bedroom in Oak Park, good schools, safe neighborhood. She's supposed to move in mid-January. On Christmas Eve, we're having dinner, just the 3 of us, and Marcus is in his high chair, smashing mashed potatoes into his face and hair, and Jasmine's laughing, and I'm thinking maybe we've made it through the worst of it. Then my doorbell rings. I freeze. Who could that be? Jasmine asks, but I can see the fear already creeping into her eyes. Stay here. I walk to the front door, look through the peephole. It's Patricia, Damon's mother. I open the door, keeping the security chain on. Mrs. Pritchett. Mr. Henderson, please. I need to talk to you. She looks exhausted, older than when I last saw her at the wedding. It's about Damon. I don't think, please, 5 minutes. I'm not here to make excuses for him. I need to warn you. I close the door, unhook the chain, open it again. Let her step into the entryway, but no further. What kind of warning? Damon's not well. Mentally, I mean. He's been staying with me since Jasmine left, and he's obsessed. All he talks about is getting Marcus back. He's convinced you and Jasmine are poisoning his son against him, that you're trying to replace him. His son is 1 year old. He doesn't even understand what's happening. I know that. You know that. But Damon doesn't see reason anymore. He's talking crazy about his rights as a father, about how the system's rigged against men, about how he's going to get his son back no matter what it takes. Did he send you here? No, he doesn't know I'm here. If he did, Mr. Henderson, I'm scared of my own son. That's why I'm here, because I think he's capable of something drastic, and I can't stop him on my own. Have you called the police? And tell them what? That my son's talking about getting his son back? That's not a crime. Not until he actually does something. She's crying now. This thin woman who's worked double shifts her whole life, who raised 2 kids alone, who's now watching her son spiral into something dark. Just watch Marcus. Please, don't let Damon anywhere near him. After she leaves, I stand in my entryway for a long time, staring at the door. Jasmine comes out of the dining room. Was that Damon's mom? Yeah. What did she want? To warn us. She thinks Damon might try something. Try what? I look at my daughter, at the fear in her eyes, and I make a decision. He might try to take Marcus. What? Her voice goes up an octave. He can't. The restraining order. Baby girl, a piece of paper doesn't stop a desperate man. Then what do? We stay alert. We keep Marcus close. And if Damon shows up anywhere near us, we call 911 immediately. Daddy, I'm scared. I know. Me too. That night, I don't sleep at all. I sit in the rocking chair in the guest room watching Marcus sleep in his crib, and I think about all the ways this could go wrong. If you've ever felt like you were waiting for the other shoe to drop, you know what this feels like. Like standing in the eye of a hurricane, knowing the worst is still coming, but not knowing when or how. It happens on a Tuesday, January 14th, 2023. One of those brutally cold Detroit winter days where the wind cuts through your coat and the sky's the color of old concrete. Jasmine's at work. She started her new position as lead social worker yesterday, and she's excited, nervous, trying to prove herself. I volunteered to watch Marcus all day, like I've been doing since she moved in with me. We have a routine now, Marcus and me. Wake up at 7, bottle, cartoons while I drink my coffee, mid-morning snack of banana slices and Cheerios, play with toys, lunch at noon, nap at 1. That's where the routine breaks down. At 12:45, I put Marcus in his crib for his nap. He's fighting it, not wanting to sleep, standing up and rattling the crib rails, but eventually he settles down. I've got the baby monitor with me, so I head downstairs to make myself some lunch. I'm standing at the kitchen counter, making a sandwich, listening to the radio playing jazz low, when I hear it. A sound from upstairs, not from the monitor, from the actual house. A creak, like someone stepping on the floorboard outside the guest room. I freeze, turkey and cheese in my hands. Marcus? I call out. No answer. I move toward the stairs, listening hard. My heart's starting to pound now, that primal alarm bell that screams danger. Another sound, definitely footsteps. Who's there? My voice is harder now, louder. Still no answer. I take the stairs 2 at a time, and when I reach the top, the guest room door is open. Wide open. I know I closed it when I left. I always close it. I run into the room. The window's open. Cold air blasting in. The crib is empty. Marcus is gone. For a second, my brain won't process it. Can't process it. Because it's impossible. We're on the 2nd floor. The window's 15 feet off the ground. There's no fire escape, no ladder, no way someone could. But they did. I run to the window, look down. There's a tall ladder propped against the side of the house, and at the bottom of the ladder, running across my backyard toward the alley, is a figure in a black hoodie carrying a bundle wrapped in a blue blanket. Marcus's blanket. No! The sound that comes out of me doesn't sound human. I'm running, down the stairs, through the kitchen, out the back door into the freezing cold without a coat, without shoes, running in my socks through the snow. But by the time I reach the alley, all I see are taillights. A dark blue Honda Accord speeding away. Damon. I fall to my knees in the snow in the alley behind my house, and I can't breathe. Can't think. Can't do anything except stare at those taillights disappearing around the corner. He took my grandson. I stumble back inside, grab my phone with shaking hands, and dial 911. 911, what's your emergency? My grandson's been kidnapped. The words feel like glass in my throat. Damon Pritchett took him. He just climbed in through the window and took him. Sir, I need you to calm down and give me your address. I give them my address. Tell them everything. The restraining order, the threats, the dark blue Honda Accord. Units are on the way, sir. Stay where you are. But I can't stay where I am. I call Jasmine. She answers on the first ring. Hey, Daddy, Jazz, I need you to come home right now. What's wrong? Is Marcus okay? I can't say it. If I say it out loud, it becomes real, and I can't let it be real. Is Marcus okay? Damon took him. The sound she makes is something I'll hear in my nightmares for the rest of my life. A scream that turns into a sob that turns into something wordless and raw. I'm coming. I'm coming right now. The police arrive within 10 minutes. Two officers, a man and a woman, both looking too young to have kids of their own, but they're professional, efficient. They take my statement. Look at the window, the ladder, the crib. Call in the description of Damon's car. Issue an Amber Alert. Mr. Henderson, do you have any idea where he might have taken Marcus? His mother's house, maybe? Patricia Pritchett. I can give you the address. They send units there immediately. Jasmine arrives 20 minutes later, and when she walks through that door and sees the police, sees the empty crib, sees my face, she collapses. Just folds in on herself like a building that lost its foundation. I catch her before she hits the floor, hold her up, and we're both crying now, holding each other in that guest room where Marcus was sleeping peacefully less than an hour ago. He has him, she keeps saying. He has my baby. Daddy, he has my baby. We'll get him back. I promise you, Jazz, we'll get him back. But even as I'm saying it, I don't know if it's true. They don't find Damon at his mother's. Patricia's there, and she's as shocked as we are, crying, saying she had no idea, saying she would never have helped him do this. They don't find him at his sister Keisha's place either. They don't find him at all. The dark blue Honda Accord vanishes like it never existed. No traffic cameras picked it up. No witnesses saw which direction he went. It's like he planned this down to the last detail, knew exactly how to disappear. We're at the police station now. It's 8 p.m. Jasmine and I have been sitting in this fluorescent-lit waiting area for 5 hours, drinking bad coffee from styrofoam cups, watching the clock on the wall tick forward like it's mocking us. A detective comes out. His name is Martinez, 40-something, tired eyes that have seen too much. He sits down across from us. We've got every unit in Detroit looking for your grandson. The Amber Alert went out statewide. We've got alerts at the Canadian border in case he tries to cross. We're doing everything we can. Is everything enough? Jasmine's voice is hollow. She hasn't stopped shaking since she got to my house. Mrs. Pritchett, your ex-husband is Marcus's biological father. Legally, this complicates things. Until we can prove he took Marcus in violation of custody arrangements. He has a restraining order. I stand up, can't help it. He's not allowed anywhere near Marcus or Jasmine. He kidnapped my grandson out of my house while I was downstairs. What more proof do you need? I understand your frustration, Mr. Henderson, and yes, he violated the restraining order, which means when we find him, he'll be arrested. But this isn't a stranger abduction. This is a domestic custody dispute that turned criminal. My baby is gone. Jasmine's voice cracks. He's 1 year old. He needs me. He needs his bottle and his blanket and his nighttime routine, and he's with someone who's not stable, who's angry and desperate, and she can't finish the sentence. Detective Martinez's expression softens. We're going to find him, but I need you both to think. Is there anywhere else Damon might go? Any friends, any family outside the area? Anywhere he might feel safe? We give them every name we can think of, every person Damon ever mentioned, every place he ever talked about. But it's not enough. At midnight, they send us home. Get some rest, Detective Martinez says, and I almost laugh because rest is impossible. How do you rest when a child you love is out there somewhere in the dark? We go back to my house, the house that doesn't feel safe anymore, the house where I failed to protect my grandson. Jasmine sits on the couch, staring at nothing, and I don't know what to say to her. Don't know how to fix this. My phone rings, unknown number. I answer it, hands shaking. Hello? Mr. Henderson. Damon's voice. Calm, too calm. I have my son. Where is he? Is he okay? He's fine? He's asleep. We've been driving all day and he's tired, but he's fine. Damon, you need to bring him back, right now, before this gets worse. Worse? It can't get worse than you and Jasmine trying to erase me from my son's life. But now I have him, and I'm not giving him back. Damon, unless, he pauses, unless Jasmine agrees to come back to me, to our marriage, to our family. And there it is, the blackmail. Jasmine's watching me, tears streaming down her face. I put the phone on speaker. You want to see your son again? Damon's voice fills my living room. Then you come back to me, Jazz. No lawyers, no divorce, no custody battles. You come back and we're a family again. Damon, please. Jasmine's voice is barely a whisper. Please don't do this. Don't use our son like this. You did this. You took him from me. You left me. You made me into the bad guy when all I ever did was love you. You hurt me. You put your hands on me. I made mistakes, but I can change. I will change. Just give me another chance. Give us another chance. And if I say no, the silence that follows is heavy enough to crush us. Then I disappear, Damon finally says. Me and Marcus. You'll never see him again. Jasmine makes a sound like something's being torn out of her chest. I'll do it. Whatever you want. Just please don't hurt him. Jazz, no, I start to say, but she cuts me off. I'll come back. Just tell me where you are. I'll call you tomorrow with instructions. Come alone. No police. No your father. Just you. And Jazz? His voice drops lower. If I even think you're being followed, if I see one cop car, I'm gone. And you'll never see Marcus again. You understand? I understand. He hangs up. Jasmine looks at me, and I see the decision in her eyes. I'm going. Absolutely not. He's bluffing. He wouldn't actually hurt Marcus. You don't know that. You heard him, Daddy. He's desperate, and desperate people do terrible things, which is exactly why you're not going anywhere near him. He's my son, and you're my daughter? You think I'm going to let you walk into a trap? Let him get his hands on you again? What choice do we have? We call Detective Martinez. Right now, tell him about the call. They can trace it, find him. And what if they can't? What if Damon sees the police and runs? What if he really does disappear with Marcus? We're both standing now, shouting at each other, and I hate it. Hate that Damon's winning even from wherever he is. Hate that he's using Marcus as a weapon. Hate that my daughter's even considering going back to a man who hurt her. There has to be another way, I say quietly. Jazz, baby girl, there has to be another way. Then you tell me what it is, because all I know is my baby's out there with his father, and the only way I get him back is if I do what Damon says. I call Leon. At 2 a.m, I call my best friend and I tell him everything. Don't let her go, Leon says immediately. Mike, you cannot let her walk into that situation. How do I stop her? She's his mother. She'll do anything to get him back. Then you call the police. Let them handle it. And risk Damon running? You got a better idea? I don't. That's the problem. I don't have any ideas. At dawn, Jasmine and I are still sitting in my living room, waiting for Damon's call, when Detective Martinez shows up at my door. How'd you know? I ask. Your phone. We've been monitoring it in case Damon made contact. He sees the look on my face. It's standard procedure in Amber Alert cases. We needed to be ready. He called, Jasmine says, last night. He wants me to meet him. Said if I bring police, he'll disappear with Marcus. That's not going to happen. We have a plan. The plan is simple. When Damon calls with the meeting location, Jasmine will go. But she won't be alone. She'll be wearing a wire. She'll have a GPS tracker in her shoe. And there will be unmarked police units within a quarter mile at all times, ready to move in. What if he searches me? Jasmine asks. What if he finds the wire? It's small, hidden, sewn into your coat lining. Unless he literally strips you down, he won't find it. Comforting, I mutter. Mr. Henderson, I understand your concern, but this is the best way to ensure both Jasmine's safety and Marcus's recovery. Damon's call comes at 11 a.m. There's a park off Grand River Avenue, he says. Murphy's Park. Be there at 2 p.m., alone. Can I bring a car seat for Marcus? A pause, like he didn't think about that detail. Yeah. Okay, but just you. I see anyone else, I'm gone. I understand. And Jazz, I do love you. I know you don't believe me, but I do. We can fix this. We can be a family again. She doesn't respond to that. Just says, 2 p.m., Murphy's Park. I'll be there. The next 3 hours are the longest of my life. They wire Jasmine up in a van 2 blocks from the park. She's shaking so bad they have to do the wire twice because she keeps moving. You don't have to do this, I tell her for the 100th time. Let the police go in. Let them. No, her voice is firm. He wants to see me. If I don't show, he'll run. This is the only way. At 1:45 p.m., she gets in her car, alone, drives to the park. I'm in the surveillance van with Detective Martinez and 3 other officers. We're watching on monitors, listening through the wire. I can hear Jasmine's breathing, fast and shallow. I see him, she says quietly. He's on a bench by the playground. He has Marcus. And there on the screen, transmitted from a camera one of the officers set up earlier, I can see my grandson. In Damon's arms, wearing his little blue coat, his face red from the cold. Jasmine walks toward them slowly. Hey, Damon says when she's close enough. He stands up, Marcus on his hip. You came. Of course I came. You have my son. Our son. She's closer now, maybe 10 feet away. Is he okay? He's fine. He missed you, though. Kept saying mama all night. Can I hold him? Damon hesitates. First, I need to know you're serious about giving us another chance. I'm here, aren't I? That's not an answer, Jazz. What do you want me to say? That I'll come back? Move back into the apartment? Pretend nothing happened? I want you to say you still love me, that you believe I can change. And this is where it gets dangerous, because Jasmine could lie, could tell him whatever he wants to hear just to get Marcus back. But Damon knows her. He'll see through the lie. I don't know if you can change, Jasmine says quietly. I don't know if I can trust you again, but I know Marcus needs his mother. And if coming back to you is the only way to give him that, then yes, I'll come back. You mean it? Can I please just hold my son? Damon looks around the park, checking for police, for anyone watching. But it's a Tuesday afternoon in January. The park's almost empty, just a couple joggers in the distance. He takes a step forward, hands Marcus to Jasmine, and the moment she has her arms around her son, everything changes. Go, go, go! Detective Martinez's voice in the van, and suddenly there are unmarked cars screeching into the parking lot, officers in plain clothes running across the park. Damon sees them and his face goes from hope to rage in an instant. You lied! You brought the cops! I'm sorry, Jasmine says, backing away with Marcus clutched to her chest. I'm so sorry, but I can't let you do this. I can't let you take him from me. Damon lunges for her, but two officers tackle him before he can reach her. He's screaming now, fighting, cursing, saying things I can't even repeat. Traitor! You lying bitch! That's my son! You can't do this! They pin him face down on the frozen ground, cuffing his hands behind his back. He's still screaming, still fighting, and Marcus is crying now, scared by the noise and the chaos. I'm out of the van, running across the park, and when I reach Jasmine, she's sobbing, holding Marcus so tight I'm worried she'll hurt him. I got you, I say, wrapping my arms around both of them. Baby girl, I got you. Both of you. They load Damon into a police car, and as they're driving away, I see his face through the window. The rage there, the hatred. But we have Marcus back. That's all that matters. Damon Pritchett was charged with kidnapping, violation of a restraining order, and attempted assault. His bail was set at $250,000, which his family couldn't afford. He sat in Wayne County Jail for 8 months waiting for trial. In that time, Jasmine filed for divorce, full custody, no visitation rights. The judge agreed, especially after hearing about the kidnapping, the abuse, the threats. Mr. Pritchett, the judge said at the hearing, you had the opportunity to be a father. You had the responsibility, and you chose violence and intimidation instead. Until you can prove you're capable of being a positive presence in your son's life, you will have no contact with him. Damon took a plea deal, 7 years for the kidnapping. He'll be eligible for parole in 5. It's been 9 months since that day in Murphy's Park. Marcus is 2 years old now, walking, talking, saying full sentences. Grandpa, play cars is his favorite phrase. Jasmine moved into her apartment in Oak Park, got her promotion. She's doing good work, helping families stay together, helping women escape dangerous situations. She's using her pain to help others, and I've never been more proud of her. We're sitting on my back porch on a Saturday afternoon in October. The leaves are changing colors again, that beautiful Michigan autumn that makes you forget how brutal the winters can be. Marcus is running around the yard, chasing a butterfly, laughing every time it flies just out of reach. You know what I realized, Daddy? Jasmine says, watching her son play. What's that? I spent so much time trying to fix Damon, trying to make our marriage work, trying to be enough for him, and the whole time I already was enough. I just needed to be enough for myself and for Marcus. Your mama knew that. She tried to teach you that. I wish she was here to see Marcus, to see how everything turned out. She sees him, I believe that. I take a sip of my sweet tea, and she'd be so proud of you, Jazz, the way you protected your son, the way you stood up for yourself, the way you walked away when you needed to. I didn't want to, though. That's the crazy part. Even after everything, there was a part of me that wanted to believe Damon could change, that our family could work. That's not crazy. That's love. It's just that sometimes love isn't enough when the other person won't do the work. Marcus runs up to the porch, out of breath. Grandpa, butterfly got away. That's what butterflies do, buddy. They fly away. But you know what? Tomorrow there'll be more butterflies. Really? Really? He grins and runs back into the yard, chasing shadows now, his imagination turning them into dragons or dinosaurs or whatever 2-year-olds think shadows become. Daddy, can I ask you something? Jasmine looks at me, and I see my little girl again. The one who used to ask me if I could fix anything that broke. Do you think Marcus will remember any of this? The fighting, the kidnapping, any of it? Probably not. He was too young. His memories will start a few years from now. All he'll remember is growing up loved. I hope so. I want him to have what I had, that feeling of safety, of knowing someone's always got your back. He'll have it. You're giving it to him. Every day. We sit there in comfortable silence, watching Marcus play, watching the sun start to sink lower in the sky, painting everything gold. You know what the social worker at the community center told me last week? Jasmine says. She said sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away, that it takes more strength to leave a broken thing than to keep trying to fix it. She's right. I think about the women I work with now, the ones in situations like I was, and I tell them my story. I tell them it's possible to leave, it's possible to survive, it's possible to build something better. And they listen? Some do, some aren't ready yet, but I plant the seed. Same way you planted seeds in me every time you questioned Damon, every time you told me I deserved better. I wasn't ready to hear it then, but eventually those seeds grew. Marcus comes back up to the porch, holding a red leaf. Look, Mama, it's pretty. It's beautiful, baby, just like you. He climbs up into her lap, and she wraps her arms around him, and they sit there together, my daughter and grandson, and I think about how close we came to losing this, how close we came to a different ending. But we didn't. We fought for this. Jasmine fought for this, and now she's here in her own place, with her own job, raising her son the way she wants, making her own choices, living her own life. That's the thing about peace. It don't come free. You gotta fight for it. You gotta walk through the fire to get to the other side. You gotta be willing to leave behind the things that are hurting you, even when leaving feels impossible. And sometimes peace looks like an October afternoon with leaves falling and a child laughing and the person you love most in the world finally safe. Daddy, Jasmine says, thank you for everything, for believing me, for protecting us, for never giving up. Baby girl, you don't thank me for that. That's just what family does. No, she says firmly, not everyone has what we have. Not everyone has a father who fights for them. So thank you. I mean it. I reach over and squeeze her hand, and we sit there as the sun sets over Detroit, 3 generations healing together, building something new from the ashes of what was broken. If you made it this far in my story, I want to tell you something. If you're in a situation like my daughter was, if someone's hurting you, if you're making excuses for someone who don't deserve your loyalty, leave. Walk away. It's hard. It's maybe the hardest thing you'll ever do. But you deserve peace. You deserve safety. You deserve love that don't leave bruises. And if you're like me, watching someone you love struggle in a bad situation, don't give up on them. Don't stop planting those seeds. Don't stop reminding them they're worth more than what they're settling for. Because one day, those seeds might grow. Marcus is asleep now, his head on Jasmine's shoulder, his little hand clutching that red leaf like it's treasure. Should we go inside? Jasmine whispers. Just a few more minutes, I say. Let's just sit here a little longer, because this moment right here, this is what I fought for. This is what we survived for. This is peace, and it's worth everything.